Back again from Burnsville, Minnesota. Post-22 baseball is on the air for its final game of pool play action here at the 2018 Gopher Classic. This final matchup will put your Post-22 Hardhats up against the Rochester Patriots. Thanks again so much for joining us this afternoon, folks. Mark Benetti alongside you here on ESPN Rapid City, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM, and as always, stream live on the internet on Hardhats-TV. Post-22 picked up a 10-2 win this morning against the Regina A's out of Regina, Saskatchewan, and improved to 4-0 in the pool play stage. And now they come up to their final matchup of this opening round. And a lot is on the line for Post-22 as they take on Rochester. Prior to this game, the A's played in their final matchup of pool play and took on the Chanhassen Cavaliers. And Chanhassen took the win. 8-2 was the final score. So here are the final standings after the first two games played earlier today. With the win over Regina, Post-22 improved to 4-0. They're up ahead against the Rochester Patriots, who they'll take on now, their first of two games today. Rochester sitting at 2-1 in the standings. Chanhassen completed their 5 games of pool play, and with their win over Saskatchewan at 8-2, now improved to a final record of 3-2, over 500 in the pool. Stillwater will take on the host Burnsville Cobras later today in the final matchup of today's action. They sit at a 500 record at 2 wins and 2 losses. The Cobras, who will play against Rochester after this game and against the aforementioned Stillwater club to close out the day's action, sit at a 1-2 record through 3 out of their 5 games played. And the Regina Athletics are now 0-5. They did not get a win in their stay in Minnesota. So here's the deal. This is why this game is so important. The simple solution, if Post-22 wins, they will advance to the bracket play tomorrow against the winner of the Anoka site, which right now, Sioux Falls East is in the driver's seat there at 3-1. They're taking on Chippewa Falls, though, and Chippewa Falls had the lead the last time we checked at 4-2. If Chippewa Falls wins that game, they'll improve to 3-1, and Sioux Falls East will conclude at a 3-2 record. Alexandria in that pool also has a 3-2 record, but Sioux Falls East beat them 11-3 this morning. So Sioux Falls East has the tiebreaker over them. So that means Chippewa Falls would need a 4-1 record to advance. Well, even though they went 3-2, it depends on what happens with their Alexandria matchup. We could have 3-3-2 teams in that pool and practically a coin flip to decide who's going to come out of the Anoka site. So if Post-22 wins, they're in. No ifs, ands, or buts. They'll be the only undefeated team in the bracket, and they will play tomorrow. If they lose to Rochester, Post-22 will finish with a 4-1 record. And Rochester will be 3-1 with one more game to play. And if they win that matchup at 4-1, they'll have the tiebreaker over Post-22, and they will advance. If they lose, then Post-22 will go. It looks like the Hardhats are going to bat in the bottom halves of our 7 innings today. On the schedule, it had them listed as the visitor side. But they've taken the field, and Branson Keel will begin his start on the mound for Post-22. As long as everybody in the stands is all right with it, I think we'll keep our mouths shut on this one and just let it fly. Branson Keel set to take the mound for Post-22. This will be his 7th appearance of the season and his 3rd by virtue of a start. A 3-1 record under his belt and 21 innings of work. A 1.67 ERA with 21 strikeouts to 15 walks. Here's how the Rochester Patriots lineup looks for Keel, the righty to face. Leading off is number 3, Kip Grunholz. He'll play out at shortstop. Batting second is number 4, Kyle Ebert. He'll patrol left field. Batting third is number 7, Aaron Lindberg. He'll patrol center field. And in the cleanup spot is number 18, Ian Bergstrom. He'll serve as the designated hitter this afternoon. Batting fifth is number 9, Brady Black out at first base. Batting sixth is number 20, Tor Hendrickson, and he will patrol right field. Batting seventh is number 16, Sam Lingen. He's the backstopper and catcher. Batting eighth is number 1, Aaron Novak in the hot corner at third base. Rounding out the batting order in the 9th spot for Rochester is number 12, Mike Drucker, and he's out at second base. Defensive alignment for the Hardhats has Keel and his right arm on the mound, paired up with the catcher, Ryan Schmidt. At first is Jace Caldwell. At second, Mason Messenger. At shortstop, Cooper Bowman. And in the hot corner at third, Matt Hegre. Left to right in the outfield, Alex Weaver, Connor King, and Zach Sumption. So in a dramatic late twist, the Hardhats will bat in the bottom halves of our 7 innings this afternoon. We all thought they were supposed to be the visiting side. Such is not the case. Branson Keel throws his first pitch, and it's a fastball up high, and we are officially underway at 1:02 this afternoon, local time. 1-0 to Kip Grunholz, the shortstop. Just starting off the ball game. Here's the 1-0 from Keel, and that just missed low and away. 2-0. 2 balls and no strikes the count. And Keel's 2-0 pitch. Called strike. Fastball right at the knees. It's 2-1. 2-1 out of the leadoff man. Kip Grunholz, the shortstop of the Rochester Patriots. Post 22 wins this game. They will advance tomorrow. If they lose, they'll have to wait just a bit. 2-1 pitch. Just missed outside on that low corner. 3-1. 3 balls and a strike now the count. Keel, the righty, a full windup against the right-handed Grunholz. Here's a 3-1 pitch. That's low and away for ball 4. So it's a leadoff walk issue to Grunholz. Now that's going to bring us to Kyle Ebert, the left fielder, stepping in the left-handed batter's box. So the leadoff man's on. Ebert steps in, the first mismatch of the afternoon for Branson Keel, the righty. Keel making his 3rd start of the season. Checks the runner over at first. And Keel's first pitch. Bunt is showed and pulled back by Ebert. That pitch was high and inside. 1-0 the count. Ball and no strikes to Ebert, the left-handed hitting left fielder. Keel pitching now from the stretch. 1-0 pitch. Bunt is showed. Bunt is popped up. Here comes Schmidt trying to make the diving catch, and he can't. Just missed it by a little. Count evens up at a ball and a strike. And the Patriots got away with one there. That could have easily gone the other way, and we could be talking about 1 out, 1 on. And Ebert gets a second life. Ball and a strike the count. Keel checks the man on first. 1-1 pitch. Fastball high and away. 2-1. Post 22 at 4-0 in the pool. The Patriots will play their last 2 games back-to-back here. They are at 2-1. If they beat the Hardhats here, they'll have to win their last game to advance. If they lose that last game against Burnsville. Next pitch swung on and missed, and the runner goes to second, and the throw is not there. 2-2 now as Grunholz moves to second. So if Rochester loses that second game, the Hardhats will advance. If they win, they will go on because both teams will have a 4-1 record, and they'll have the tiebreaker. 2 balls, 2 strikes to count here to Ebert. A man on second now with a stolen base to Grunholz. Long look to second and a double take, and he'll feign a motion to second and step off the rubber. Post 22 will bat in the bottom halves of our 7 innings in a late twist. Top of the first, still scoreless. Keel from the stretch, 2-2, ripped foul off the end of the bat down the third baseline, and the count will hold it 2-2 for the lefty Ebert. Aaron Lindbergh, the center fielder, on deck. Grunholz in scoring position on second with the leadoff walk and stolen base. Long look to second. 2-2 again. Caught him looking. Strike 3. There's K number 1 for Branson Keel. 1 down with a man on second. That'll bring up Aaron Lindbergh. Lindbergh, a right-handed batter, steps in for the Patriots. Man on second, 1 out here in the top of a scoreless first inning. Post 22 trying to finish perfect at 5-0. Long look to second for Keel. First pitch to Lindbergh. Runner goes. It's inside, and the throw to third is in time. And Grunholz is thrown out trying to steal third. A big second out on a laser from Ryan Schmidt behind home plate. Ball and no strikes to count to Lindbergh, and instead of a man in scoring position, it's an empty base path and 2 outs. A big turn for the Hardhats here. Keel steps off the rubber before dishing out his 1-0. Righty on righty matchup here. Lindbergh in the 3 spot. Here's the 1-0. Too far inside on the fastball. It's 2-0. If Lindbergh's retired, Connor King, Matt Hegre, and Cooper Bowman are slated to hit in the bottom half of this first. If not, Ian Bergstrom, the DH, is on deck. 2-0 pitch. Called. Strike right down the pipe, and it's 2-1. Two balls and a strike to count. And the pitch. Swung on. Ball's chopped to third, but foul. And the count will even up at 2-2. Two balls and 2 strikes to count. Keel's second K would put an end to the top half of the first. Full windup for the righty. 2-2 pitch. Swung on. Ball's hit high in the air towards third, and Hegre makes the catch. And that will end the top half of the first. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. After a half an inning of play, we're still scoreless, and the Hardhats will take their first swings at the bat when we return. Connor King, Matt Hegre, Cooper Bowman slated to hit. We'll give you the rest of the lineup and the Rochester defensive alignment here on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV when we return. Post 22 transitions now from defense to offense. They'll take their first swings of the ball game. Here's how the lineup looks for the bottom halves of our 7 innings this afternoon. Leading off for Post 22 is number 13, Connor King, patrolling center field. Batting second is number 21, Matt Hegre. He's in the hot corner at third base. Batting third is number 22, Cooper Bowman out at shortstop. And in the cleanup position for the Hardhats is number 23, Jack Sorensen, and he'll serve as the designated hitter this afternoon. Batting fifth is number 30, Jace Caldwell, out at first base. Batting sixth is number 15, Zach Sumption, patrolling right field. Batting seventh is number 18, Alex Weaver, patrolling left field. Batting eighth is number 25, Ryan Schmidt, serving as the backstopper and catcher. And rounding out the batting order in the 9th spot for the Hardhats is number 12, Mason Messenger, out at second base. The Hardhats will take on Matt Swickler, the righty, on the mound for the Rochester Patriots. Defensive alignment for the Patriots has Swickler and his right arm on the mound, paired up with the catcher, Sam Lingen. At first is Brady Black. At second's Mike Drucker. At shortstop is Kip Grunholz. And in the hot corner at third is Aaron Novak. Left to right in the outfield, Kyle Ebert, Aaron Lindbergh, and Tor Hendrickson. King steps in, the only lefty in the lineup. And his first pitch is a called strike right down the pipe. 0-1. King did not play in Game 1 earlier today for the Hardhats. Here's his 0-1. Breaking ball, called strike. And it's 0-2. King on the tournament batting .400 here in Minnesota. No balls, 2 strikes. And Swickler's 0-2 is pulled foul. Down the first baseline just barely. And the count will hold at 0-2. On the season, Connor King coming in batting just under .300, and his next pitch is swung on, hit high in the air to left, and it's caught on the play by Ebert, and he is retired. 1 up, 1 down, and that'll bring up Matt Hegre, the third baseman. Hegre steps in batting .366 for the Hardhats on the year, and in the tournament batting .333. Good stay in Minnesota for the Hardhats third baseman. First pitch, missed low and away. 1-0 the count here to Hegre. Empty base path for Hegre, 1 out. Bottom half of a scoreless first inning. Hegre in game 1 went 1 for 4 with a single. His next pitch hit high in the air to left. Ebert going back, he makes the catch. And quickly it's 2 up, 2 down for the Hardhats. 2 F7s, it's the Kyle Ebert show. And that's going to bring us to Cooper Bowman, the shortstop. Bowman did not play in game 1. He's batting .750 in Minnesota. And on the season, batting a dead even .500. First pitch. Breaking ball, swung on, hit to short. Stop made on the play by Grunholz. Throw to first is barely in time. And that'll end the inning in 1-2-3 fashion for post 22. No runs, hits, errors, or anybody left on base. We played a frame of baseball, and the Patriots and the Hardhats are still knotted up at zeros. We'll take a step aside, and when we come back, the heart of the order's due up for the Patriots when we return on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV. Post 22 Hardhats baseball here on ESPN Rapid City is presented by Courtesy Subaru, Shields, Qdoba Mexican Eats, Renewal by Anderson, Sicky's Garage Burgers and Brews, the Mustang Disaster Cleanup, and the Man Salon. Nothing across for both teams after 1 inning of play. Post 22 in their final matchup of pool play here at the Gopher Classic. If the Hardhats win this matchup, they are in the knockout stage. If they lose, they have to wait on the outcome of Rochester and Burnsville immediately following this game. If Rochester gets the win, they would move on with the tiebreaker at a 4-1 record. If they lose, the Hardhats would advance. Heart of the order due up here for the Patriots. Ian Bergstrom, the designated hitter, left-handed batter, followed by Brady Black, the first baseman, and Tor Hendrickson, the right fielder. Keel looks into the second lefty he's had to face. And his first pitch. Called strike, a fastball right down the pipe. It's 0-1. No balls and a strike to count to the Patriots' designated hitter. Start of the top half of the second inning. And the 0-1. Called strike. It's the opposite corner. It's 0-2. Keel in the driver's seat in this first step out of the inning. Looking for his second strikeout of the start. 0-2 pitch. Misses outside, 1-2. Ball and 2 strikes the count. Keel's full windup. Here's a 1-2 pitch. Caught him looking. Strike 3. 2 Ks for Keel, both of them backwards. That's going to bring up Brady Black, the first baseman. Black also a left-handed batter. 3 lefties so far for Keel to face, and they come at 2, 4, and 5 so far in the order. 2 strikeouts for Keel. Here's his first pitch to Black. And that's a fastball high and away, 1-0. 1 out, an empty base path here for Black. Top of the second, still scoreless between the Patriots and the Hardhats. 1-0 pitch. Swung on and fouled to the fencing behind home plate. 1-1. Post 22 playing in their final pool play matchup. Rochester still has 1 more after this against the host of this site in the Burnsville Cobras. Keel full windup, 1-1 pitch. Swung on, ball's hit to the right side of the infield. Messenger, the stop second at his left end, the throw to first is in time. Route number 2. 2 up, 2 down for the Hardhats on defense will now bring us to Tor Hendrickson, the right fielder. He'll step in as a righty, so we're back to a righty-on-righty matchup here for Keel on the mound. Empty base path for Hendrickson. 2 outs, top of a scoreless second. Keel's first pitch. High and inside, 1-0. If Hendrickson's retired, heart of the order is also due up for the Hardhats. Sorensen, Caldwell, and Sumption. 1-0 pitch. Swung on and missed. Ball and a strike. Amateur meteorology report gives us 87 degrees. Sunny with a little cloud cover. Beautiful day for baseball. 1-1 rides upstairs. 2 balls and a strike now from Keel to Hendrickson. Still scoreless with an empty base path for Hendrickson. 2 outs here in the top of the second. 2-1 pitch. Swung on, ball's lined right up the middle and into center for a base hit. And Tor Hendrickson gets the first hit of the ball game between both clubs. And it's a 2-out single. That's going to bring up Sam Lingen, the catcher. Lingen now has to take off his leg pads. And get ready for his first plate appearance. Lingen will step in the right-handed batter's box. Man on first with 2 outs. Top of the second, still scoreless. Keel from the stretch, first pitch. Called strike right on the inside corner. 0-1. No balls and a strike to the Patriots backstopper. Tor Hendrickson, 90 feet to his right on first. 0-1. Called strike, a fastball right at the knees. And Keel's a pitch away from his third K and the end of the top half of the second. Both of Keel's strikeouts are backwards Ks in the book. See if he can go for the trifecta. 0-2 pitch. Just missed on the low outside corner, and the count will go 1-2. Ball and 2 strikes now to Lingen, with Hendrickson leading off at first. Here's the 1-2. Swung on, ball's pulled foul down the left field line, and the count will hold at 1-2. Keel just threw his 15th pitch of the inning and his 31st overall. So not a bad average at all. If he gets out of here, he'll have thrown 16 in each of the first 2 innings of his start. Keel taking his time. 1-2 pitch. Too far inside, and the count will even up 2-2. If Lingen's retired here, 4, 5, and 6 due up for the Hardhats, starting off with the DH, Jack Sorensen. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and Keel delivers. Missed the low. And the count goes full. Big payoff pitch could either end or keep the inning going here for Keel. Post 22 trying to get out of this, still in a scoreless deadlock. Top of the second inning, a man on first, 2 outs. Hendrickson leads off at first. Keel's first payoff pitch of the day. Swung on, ball's hit high in the air towards shallow right. Coming in from second, Messenger, and now to first, it's Caldwell, and he'll make the catch. And that will end the inning. No runs on a hit, no errors, and a man left on the base path for the Patriots. After an inning and a half, we are still in a scoreless deadlock between the Hardhats and the Patriots. We'll take a step aside and come right back with the bottom of the second and the heart of the Hardhats order up here on ESPN Rapid City and Hardhats-TV. Heart of the order for post 22, due up to hit here in the bottom half of the second. Still scoreless between the Rochester Patriots and the post 22 Hardhats. No runs, a hit, no errors for Rochester. No runs, no hits, no errors for post 22. Mark Benetti alongside you here on ESPN Rapid City, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM, and as always, stream live on the internet on Hardhats-TV. Jack Sorensen, Jace Caldwell, and Zach Sumption in that order, scheduled to hit for Post 22, looking to finish pool play 5-0 here in the Gopher Classic. The simple outcome of this game, the Hardhats win, they are guaranteed to play tomorrow morning in the knockout stage of the Gopher Classic against the winner of the Anoka pool. If the Hardhats lose to Rochester, then they have to await the outcome of Rochester's final pool play matchup, which will happen right after this game against the host Burnsville Cobras. If Rochester wins, they'll advance. If they lose, Post 22 would advance. So to avoid all the math and differential equations, the bottom line is Post 22 needs to get the win here so that we don't have to worry about it. Here comes Jack Sorensen for his first appearance of this game. And he looks at ball one outside. 1-0. Sorensen on the tournament batting .429 here in Minnesota. And his 1-0 is low and away. 2 balls, no strikes. Jack Sorensen, Jace Caldwell, Zach Sumption slated to hit. 2-0 pitch. Swung on, ball's hit foul, over our broadcast bungalow and out of play. 2-1. Sorensen overall in the season batting .368 for Post 22. He's been fairly reliable in that designated hitting role, more so in the cleanup spot. 2-1, swung on, ball's hit high in the air to second. Underneath it is Drucker, and he makes the catch for out number 1. 1 up, 1 down for the Hardhats, and 4 in a row retired since the start of the game, and that'll bring us to Jace Caldwell. Caldwell in this tournament has absolutely crushed the ball, batting .417 in Minnesota. Here's the first pitch from Swickla. Swung on, ball's hit right past the second baseman, Drucker, and into right center for a base hit. And Jace Caldwell continues his red-hot stay in the land of 10,000 lakes. 1 out and a man on first. That'll bring up Zach Sumption. Caldwell will now see his .406 average go up just a little bit more. Sumption on the season batting .290. Man on first and 1 out. And his first pitch is a breaking ball, swung on, lined over the head of the third baseman, Novak, and into left. Another hit for Sumption. His first of this game. Caldwell will advance to scoring position. Back-to-back 1-out singles, and that'll bring up Alex Weaver. Weaver in his 3rd game of this tournament, and he saw action earlier today as well. Weaver pitched in relief for the final 2 2/3 innings. Post 22 defeated Regina in 6, 10-2. His first pitch is a breaking ball, low and away. 1-0. Weaver in Minnesota is batting .375 on the tournament. Men on first and second for him, and 1 out here in the bottom of the second, still scoreless. Swickla from the stretch. 1-0 pitch is swung on, flared high in the air. First base side, and that drops fair into right field. Caldwell's going to head to third. The ball is off track, and rounding third, heading home is Caldwell. Sumption will advance to third, and Weaver to second, and the Hardhats strike first for a 5th game in a row. They take a 1-0 lead. So that'll be a single for Weaver, and he will advance on the E9, I believe. Throwing error to the right fielder. Sumption now on third. It'll be 2 men in scoring position, and that brings up Ryan Schmidt. Schmidt didn't play in Game 1 today. He comes in with a .337 average on the season. And his first pitch misses low and away. 1-0. Schmidt with runners in scoring position, batting .362 on the year. And his 1-0 swung on, it's hit up the middle. Stops made at short, and the throw to first is in time. A run will score in this sequence as coming home is Sumption. The Hardhats now have 2 outs and a man on third, and a 2-0 lead as Schmidt gets the 6-3 RBI ground out. Alex Weaver will move over to third. Mason Messenger comes up, a man 90 feet to his left. Messenger played earlier at shortstop in Game 1 against Regina, and his first pitch is upstairs. 1-0. Messenger on the year, batting .286 with men in scoring position. That's exactly who he has standing to his left. Next pitch, too far inside, and the count goes to 2-0 against the Hardhats second baseman. Post 22 now with a 2-0 lead on 3 hits in this inning. 2-0. Low and away. 3 balls, no strikes to Messenger. Swickla has yet to issue a free pass. He's a pitch away from a 4-pitch walk. Messenger overall in the year batting .280 for the Hardhats. Swickla from the stretch and the 3-0. Low and away for ball 4. And that'll bring us back to the top of the order to Connor King. And it'll put men on the corners. Men 90 feet to the left and right of King. He'll come in for his second appearance. 0 for 1 with a fly out to left. Weaver is 90 feet to his left on third, the most immediate threat. 90 feet to his right on first is Messenger. The only lefty in the lineup for post 22 steps in. 2 outs, men on the corners here in the bottom of the second, and the Hardhats up 2-0. And the first pitch rides too far inside, and King starts off 1-0. Matt Swickla, the righty, on the mound, currently at 22 pitches in this start. Very efficient with only 7 required to get the Hardhats out 1-2-3 in the bottom of the first. No 15 in this inning. That's not terrible for an inning of work. But with 2 outs, he has to lock it down here if the Patriots have any chance of keeping this close. 1-0 pitch. Too far inside. 2 balls, no strikes. Connor King with men on the corners. 2 outs here in the bottom of the second, and the Hardhats strike first for a 5th game in a row in pool play. 2-0 their lead. And stepping off the rubber is Swickla. He calls time. We'll have to get an update on the Anoka pool following the conclusion of this inning. 2-0 to King, and that's inside for ball 3. 3-0 the count. The last we saw, Sioux Falls East was down 7-2, I believe, to Chippewa Falls. So if they lose that game, they'll finish at 3-2, and we'll need a ton of help to advance out of that pool. 3-0 to King. Called strike. 3 balls and a strike now the count to King. He'll have to see another pitch. And the 3-1 misses for ball 4. So King draws a 2-out walk. That'll load up the bases. Here comes Matt Hegre with a chance to blow this open for post 22. King now his 40th walk on the season. He leads the team in that category. Matt Hegre 0 for 1 with a fly out to left. Base hit would knock in 2. First pitch swung on, ball's hit high in the air to right. Hendrickson's coming in. And the catch is made, and that'll end the inning. Well, the Hardhats get 2 runs on 3 hits, no errors charged to the Patriots, and the base is left loaded. We have played 2 innings of baseball in post 22 as a 2-0 lead. We'll take a step aside and come right back with the top of the third. 8, 9, and 1 slated to hit for the Patriots when we return on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV. We have an update on the Anoka pool, and it looks like Sioux Falls East fell 7-2 to Chippewa Falls. So that puts Chippewa Falls at 3-1, currently in the driver's seat. Alexandria and Sioux Falls East both have 3-2 records, but Sioux Falls East beat Alexandria. So if it comes down to 3-3-2 teams, Chippewa Falls beat Sioux Falls East, who beat Alexandria. We'll have to find out if Chippewa Falls beat Alexandria, if they have yet to play them. Post 22 now here in the top of the third. And Keel's first pitch, low and away for ball one. Keel will take on 8, 9, and 1 in the order, starting off with Aaron Novak, the third baseman. Here's his 1-0 pitch. Missed inside, 2-0. And the 2-0 is fouled to the mesh behind home plate, and it's 2-1. Trying to find an update on. So Chippewa Falls lost to Alexandria. So Sioux Falls East beat Alexandria, who beat Chippewa Falls, who beat Sioux Falls East. So if all three teams finish 3-2, they'll need some differential equations to get a tiebreaker going. Next pitch is low and inside, and the count goes to 3-1 from Keel to Novak. Top of the third, Hardhats defending a 2-0 lead. 3-1. And that missed low and away for ball four. Second walk issued by Keel, and it leads off the top of the third. So 2 strikeouts, 2 walks for Keel, and that'll bring us to the 9-hole hitter, Mike Drucker, the second baseman. Drucker, a right-handed batter, stepping in. Leadoff man's on here in the top of the third with the Hardhats up 2-0. First pitch, they show bunt. Schmidt catches the runner off for first, and he got him. And that's the second time the Hardhats have thrown out a man on the base path. Ryan Schmidt with a heads-up play behind home. Drucker looks at ball one, trying to attempt the bunt. He pulled back, and they caught Novak too far off the bag. 1 out, an empty base path now. And Keel will go back to a full windup. 1-0 pitch is swung on and missed, and the count will even up at a ball and a strike. Not a bad start to the inning for the Hardhats. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Swung on, ball's popped high in the air. Foul territory. Will it stay in? Schmidt underneath it, watches it barely go on top of the Rochester dugout. Ball and 2 strikes. That just went over the fence. Cleared it by maybe a few inches, if that. Ball and 2 strikes now to Drucker. Keel looking for the trifecta of strikeouts. 1-2 pitch. Caught him looking, strike 3. Breaking ball inside, and all 3 strikeouts for Keel are backwards Ks. 2 down, and that's going to bring us back to the top of the order to Kip Grunholz, the shortstop. Post 22 defending their 2-0 lead. It's an empty base path here in the top of the third. Grunholz walked to start off the entire ball game. First pitch, swung on, foul to the fencing right in front of us. 0-1. Keel has struck out Ebert, Bergstrom, and now Drucker, and all 3 of them are backwards Ks in the book. 0-1 comes from Keel. Low and inside, and it skips away. Ball and a strike. If Grunholz is retired, Cooper Bowman, Jack Sorensen, and Jace Caldwell would be slated to hit in the bottom half of this third inning. The Hardhats in the second almost batted through the lineup, and they played it 2 on 3 hits. 1-1 pitch. Swung on, ball's hit right back to Keel on the mound. A nice snag. Nonchalant toss to first, and that ends it. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on the base path. 2.5 innings in the books, and Post 22 has maintained their 2-0 lead. We'll take a step aside and come right back with the bottom of the third here on ESPN Rapid City and Hardhats-TV. Bottom half of the third inning now for Post 22. They are back on the offensive, and they'll watch Cooper Bowman lead off. Post 22 has a 2-0 lead over the Rochester Patriots, their final matchup of pool play. And Bowman's first pitch rides upstairs, 1-0. Bowman's 0 for 1, grounded out to his position at short to end a 1-2-3, bottom half of the first inning. Here's the 1-0. Breaking ball inside, called strike. And it's 1-1. Bowman, Sorensen, and Caldwell scheduled to hit for the Hardhats here in the bottom of the third. Mark Minetti alongside you here on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV. As the 1-1 pitch comes in as a breaking ball low. And inside, it'll be 2-1 to Bowman. Here comes the 2-1. Swung on, ball's flared opposite field into right. Ball has some distance on it, and in right to make the catch is Tor Hendrickson. And that'll be out number 1 for the Hardhats on offense. Jack Sorensen now comes up. 0 for 1 looking for his first hit of the day. Sorensen, high-quality start in the first game. 41 pitches, 3 1/3 innings of work. Allowed a run on a hit and struck out 5. And his first pitch is a breaking ball low. It's 1-0. He also didn't walk anybody, but he did hit one batter. But 5 strikeouts to 1 free pass. That's quite the gem of a start for Sorensen. 1-0 pitch. Swung on, hit off the end of the bat and fouled right in front of the Rochester dugout. First base side, it's 1-1. Empty base path for the Hardhats DH, and 1 out here in the bottom of the third. Post 22 up 2-0 on the Patriots. Here's the 1-1. Swung on, ball's chopped to the left side. Stops made on the play at third by Novak, and his throw to first is in time. Almost pulled Black off the bag, but the throw was there, and he got Sorensen. 2 up, 2 down, and that'll bring us to Jace Caldwell. 1 for 1 with a single, and the first of 2 Hardhats runs scored in this game. Caldwell in game 1 went 2 for 4. Started off 2 for 2 with a solo home run over the left field wall. A single and a pair of runs scored. First pitch to Caldwell. Breaking ball swung on, hit high in the air to right center field. That's going to drop for a base hit, and it goes all the way to the wall. Caldwell on his horse, rounds first, and he'll get to second with a 2-out double. Bottom of the third, the Hardhats have their first hit of the frame. Man in scoring position, that'll bring up Zach Sumption, who's also 1 for 1 with a single in this matchup. Sumption didn't play in game 1, so this is his first action of the day. First pitch to Sumption. Swung on, ball's lined into center field, and it's caught on the play by Aaron Lindbergh, and that will end the bottom half of the third. No runs on a hit, no errors, and a man stranded in scoring position for the Hardhats. We've played 3 innings of baseball. They still have the lead at 2-0 over the Rochester Patriots. It's as simple as that, folks. Win, and you're into the next round. Lose, and you might need a little help. We'll take a step aside, and we'll be right back with the top of the 4th inning here on ESPN Rapid City and Hardhats-TV. For those Rapid City Rush fans tuning into today's broadcast, we will have a new player announcement coming this week. And what I mean by new player is somebody who is actually brand new to the Rush roster. The last 4 players that have been announced, and Garrett Klotz, Shaquille Marasti, Josh Elms, and Braden Sherbinin, are all returning Rush players from last season. This first player to be announced next week, brand new to the Black Hills. Well, sort of brand new. The only hint you'll get on this person is that he was a divisional adversary of the Rush. So he came from the Mountain Division last season. He played against the Rush a number of times. And I think you'll be just as excited as I am with the announcement. Top half of the 4th inning now. Kyle Liebert, the lefty, leads off, rips one foul down the first baseline. And he starts off 0-1. Keel just threw his 47th pitch of the start. 16 in the first inning, 18 in the second, and 8 required in the third to get out of it. No balls and a strike to count to Ebert, who's 0 for 1 with his first of 3 strikeouts. And the 0-1 skips low, and it'll even up the count at 1-1. 2, 3, and 4 slated to hit for the Patriots. Ebert, Lindberg, and Bergstrom. 2 lefties at the minimum in this inning for Keel to face. Ebert and Bergstrom, his opposite hand. 1-1 pitch. High and away. 2-1 now to Ebert. All 3 gentlemen are combined 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. As we're in the top of the 4th. 2-1. Swung on and missed. Inside pitch from Keel. Evens it back up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Keel looking for his 4th strikeout. If he gets it, will it be a forward or backwards K in the book? He's only thrown backwards Ks today. Here comes a 2-2. Swung on, ball's lined to third, right into the glove of Matt Hegre. That'll be out number 1 for post 22 on defense. That's going to bring us to Aaron Lindberg, the center fielder, who popped out to the aforementioned Hegre at third. Mark Benetti alongside you here on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV as Post 22 closes out their pool stage of the Gopher Classic with their 5th game on the slate. First pitch to Lindberg is too far inside, ball 1. Lindberg 0 for 1 here with an empty base path and 1 out in the top of the 4th. Hardhats protecting a 2-0 lead. Here's the 1-0 from Keel. Just missed inside. 2-0. Righty on righty matchup here. 2 balls, no strikes to count to Lindberg. Bergstrom, the lefty DH on deck. 2-0. Called strike. Fastball right at the knees, and it's 2-1. One out here in the top of the 4th. Keel trying to shut the door. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. Just missed low. Lindberg looked like he wanted a piece, but he didn't swing. 3-1. Keel's issued 2 walks in the start. He's a pitch away from number 3 to match his strikeout total as well. 3-1 to Lindberg. Swung on, ball's hit to second. Messenger gets it between his legs, and the throw to first is in time for out number 2. 2 up, 2 down on offense for the Patriots, and that'll bring us now to Ian Bergstrom, the lefty DH. Post 22 up 2-0 here in the top of the 4th. Empty base path for Bergstrom and 2 outs. Bergstrom struck out looking to lead off the top half of the 2nd in this game. 2nd of 3 Keel strikeouts, and his first pitch is high and away, 1-0. If Bergstrom's retired, 7, 8, and 9 slated to hit for the Hardhats, and Weaver, Schmidt, and Messenger. 1-0, swung on and missed. Count evens up and a ball and a strike. 1-1 now the count. And the pitch. Swung on, ball's hit sky high in the air to shallow right. Sumption charging and Messenger underneath it from second. He makes the catch backtracking. And that'll end the top half of the 4th. The Patriots go down 1-2-3 in the inning, which means no runs, hits, errors, or anybody left on base. We've played exactly half this ball game at 3.5 out of 7 innings, and Post 22 still has their 2-0 lead to try and expand upon when we return in the bottom of the 4th. Bottom third of the order slated to hit for the Hardhats. We'll be right back here on ESPN Rapid City and Hardhats-TV. Post 22 Hardhats baseball here on ESPN Rapid City is presented by Courtesy Subaru, by Shields, Qdoba Mexican Eats, Renewal by Anderson, Sicky's Garage Burgers and Brews, the Mustang Disaster Cleanup, and the Man Salon. Post 22 has a 2-0 lead coming into the second half of this ball game, the bottom half of the 4th inning. Weaver, Schmidt, Messenger slated to hit in that order. Mark Benetti alongside you on ESPN Rapid City, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM as the Hardhats look to close out pool play at a perfect 5-0 and book their ticket to tomorrow morning's knockout stage. First pitch to Weaver, chopped foul down the third baseline. He starts off 0-1. Weaver singled with an out and then advanced to second on a throwing error in right field. But he was stranded at third. Back in the bottom of the second, that's where the Hardhats got their offense. 2-0 is their lead. Next pitch is a breaking ball low and away. And the count evens up at 1-1. 1-1 the count to Weaver, leading off the bottom half of the fourth. And the 1-1's a called strike on the outside corner. And it's 1-2. Swickler doesn't have a strikeout yet in this start, pitching for the Patriots. Here's the 1-2. And that's high and inside. 2-2 to Weaver. 2-2 now to Weaver. And Swickler's pitch. Breaking ball upstairs, and the count goes full. 3-2 to Weaver. 1 for 1. Looking for his second trip to the base path. From the stretch, payoff from Swickler. Swung on, balls popped sky high in the air. Shallow infield. Coming in from second and making the catch on the play is Drucker for out number 1. So Weaver retired. He'll go to 1 for 2 on the afternoon, and that'll bring up Ryan Schmidt, who has the RBI ground out under his belt back from the bottom half of the second. Weaver knocked in the first run, but did not get credit for the RBI because it scored on the throwing error. First pitch to Schmidt, fouled off to the fencing right in front of us. 0-1. Schmidt did get credit for his. It was an RBI ground out with 2 men in scoring position, and he happened to knock in Zach Sumption. 0-1 from Swickler. And that misses low and away on a breaking pitch. It's 1-1. Post 22 up 2-0 here in the bottom of the fourth. 1 out and an empty base path for the Hardhats catcher. And the next pitch from Swickler misses low. 2-1. Here's the 2-1. Schmidt pulls it, and it just lands foul. 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes now, the count here to Schmidt. And the pitch. Missed outside, and the count goes full. 3-2 to Schmidt. An empty base path and 1 out here in the bottom half of the fourth. Post 22 up 2-0, trying to add to their lead. Payoff pitch. Misses low. Ball 4. And Schmidt will trot down to first. 1 out walk issued by Swickler. That's his 3rd walk of the ball game. And that'll bring us to Mason Messenger, and coming in to pinch run for Schmidt is Drew Messer over at first. Messenger walked in his first at-bat on plate appearance on 4 pitches. Messer leads off at first and the first pitch. Swung on, ball's ripped left field side, and it just tails foul. 0-1. Well-struck ball for Messenger, but just a few feet on the opposite side of the left field line. 0-1 the count for Messenger, with Messer on first. 1 out here in the bottom of the fourth. 0-1. Pitch is swung on. Ball's hit high in the air to center field, and underneath it to make the catch is Lindbergh. And that'll be 2 down. Messer retreats to first, and that'll bring us back to the top of the order to Connor King. King's 0 for 1 with a fly out to left, and then his 40th walk of the season. Matt Heggery on deck if we get that far with 2 outs and a man on first. Here in the bottom of the fourth. Post 22 trying to add to a 2-0 lead. Matt Swickler looks in. Runner goes. First pitch. Inside, it's a ball. Throw to second. Not in time. And Drew Messer steals second and now is in scoring position. 1-0 to King with Messer now in scoring position, courtesy running for Schmidt. Now Connor King has a chance to knock in a run. Swickler checks second, 1-0 pitch. Too far inside, 2-0. Two balls and no strikes now to King. King batting .326 with runners in scoring position. 2-0, too high and inside, 3 balls, no strikes. And King a 1 pitch away from what could be his 41st walk of the season. And the 3-0 is a called strike. On the inside corner at his belt, it's 3-1. Drew Messer leads off a second with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th. 3-1 pitch. Swung on, ball's hit to second. Stop made on the play by Drucker, and his throw to first is in time. And that will end the bottom half of the 4th. No runs, no hits, no errors. A man stranded in scoring position for post 22. We've played 4 out of 7 innings of baseball, and the Hardhats still have a 2-0 lead over the Rochester Patriots. We'll take a step aside and come right back with the top of the 5th inning. 5, 6, and 7 slated to hit for the Patriots when we return on ESPN Rapid City and Hardhats-TV. All set now for the top half of the 5th inning here at Burnsville High School, the Burnsville site of the 2018 Gopher Classic. Post 22 has a 2-0 lead over the Rochester Patriots in their final matchup of pool play. The simple outcome, if Post 22 wins, they will advance to the knockout stage tomorrow against the winner of the Anoka site. If they lose to Rochester, they have to wait. Because if Rochester beats the Hardhats and wins their next game after that, the Patriots would advance. If they beat the Hardhats and lose, then Post 22 would advance. Post 22, the last undefeated team at 4-0. The Patriots had a 2-1 record in the group stage. Chanhassen finished at 3-2. Stillwater at 500, 2-2. Burnsville at 1-2, and Regina finished 0-5. Branson Keel's first pitch to Brady Black, the left-handed hitting first baseman, is high and away. 1-0. It'll be Black, Hendrickson, and Lingen due up here in the top half of the 5th. 1-0 is ripped foul down the first base line. And the count will even up at 1-1. Post 22 a 2-0 lead. 2 runs on 4 hits with no errors in the field. And no runs on a hit and an error for Rochester. Next pitch is swung on, hit to first, and Chase Caldwell can't come up with it at first. And it trickles into shallow right. And E3 will give Black safe passage to first. And that'll bring us to Tor Hendrickson, who's 1 for 1 with a single. Hendrickson represents the tying run here for Rochester. Crucial moment for the Patriots in the top of the 5th. Still down 2-0 to Post 22. Keel from the stretch. First pitch. Rides upstairs, 1-0. Twice, base runners have been thrown out by Schmidt in this ballgame. One stealing third, the other one caught asleep on first. 1-0 to Hendrickson. Too far inside, 2-0. Hendrickson has Brady Black on first. No outs, top of the 5th. Two-0 pitch. Swung on, ball's hit high in the air to left. Weaver backtracking all the way to the fence, as is King. And the ball is over the fence, and it's gone. And Rochester's tied it on 1 swing. We are square at 2. A 2-run home run for Tor Hendrickson. And Black getting on base with the error turned out to be huge. 2-2 tie here in the top of the 5th. How crucial is the Hardhats batting second now, right? We all thought they were going to bat first. They're batting second in this game, so they'll at least get the last word. 2-2 now the score. Here comes Sam Lingen with no outs. Lingen 0 for 1, and his first pitch is fouled into the glove. 0-1. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Too far inside, and the count will even up at a ball and a strike. 1-1 to Lingen. Now a tie ball game. No outs here in the top of the 5th. 1-1. Swung on. Ball's lined into right center field, and that'll drop in front of Connor King for a base hit. Second hit of the inning for the Patriots. It'll be a man on first. Still no one out, and that'll bring up Aaron Novak. Rochester now is the go-ahead run on the base path and a chance to take their first lead. And now Ryan Schmidt's going to have a quick word with his righty. Crucial game for the Hardhats. If they win, they are into the next stage, into the knockout rounds of the Gopher Classic. If they lose, they have to await the conclusion of the Rochester and Burnsville game. Rochester wins, they'll advance if they beat Post 22. If they beat the Hardhats and lose, Post 22 will then still go on to the next round. Novak walked in his first plate appearance, and his first pitch, he shows bunt, and he fouls it straight to the fence. 0-1. Novak trying to move the go-ahead run into scoring position. No balls and a strike to count. To the Patriots' third baseman. Leading off of first is Lingen. Keel takes his time and then steps off the rubber. They actually have Brendan Baxter out there to courtesy run for Lingen. So Baxter on first. No balls and a strike to count here to Novak. Hegre coming in to field the bunt. And the next pitch is low and inside. Schmidt, can he get him? They've got him in a rundown. Baxter going to second. Caldwell comes to Messenger, and Messenger applies the tag. And that's the third time in this ballgame the Hardhats have thrown somebody out on the base path. A crucial sequence as Baxter is thrown out 2, 3, 4. That's the third time they've caught somebody on the base path. Ball and a strike, I believe, the count to Novak. 70th pitch coming from Keel. And he deals. Swung on and foul tipped into the glove, strike 2. Ball and 2 strikes. And Keel delivers. Caught him looking. Strike 3. Strike 3's dropped, though. Schmidt fields it. And his throw to first is in time. Nice job. And there is Keel's 4th strikeout, and he gets some help from Schmidt and Caldwell. 2 down. And that'll bring up Mike Drucker. We are tied at 2. The Patriots had the go-ahead run on the base path, and a base running error cost them. Drucker's 0 for 1 with a strikeout looking. Keel looking to get out of this with just a tie ball game. And the first pitch hits him right off the bucket. And Drucker is now on the base path. A 2-out hit by pitch, and that'll bring us back to the top of the order to the shortstop, Kip Grunholz. Grunholz is 0 for 1. And a ground out to the mound and a walk. He also has a stolen base to his credit in this ballgame. Man on first with 2 outs. That man on first is the go-ahead run for the Patriots. We're square at 2 here in the top of the 5th. First pitch. Too far inside, 1-0. Ball and no strikes to Grunholz. Keel checks the man on first. 1-0 pitch. Too far inside, 2-0. Buzzes Grunholz off the plate. 2-0. Keel pitching from the stretch. 2-0 pitch. Misses low. Schmidt gets the block. 3-0. 2 outs. A man on first. Here in the top of the 5th. And here comes the 3-0. And that misses low. It's a 4-pitch walk. Coach Clapperich, the pitching coordinator for the Hardhats, will come out and have a quick word with his righty and with Ryan Schmidt. That puts men on first and second with 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. The Patriots have already tied it in this frame on the 2-run home run credited to Tor Hendrickson. Deuces on the board here in the top of the 5th. Post 22 just trying to get out of it and get back to the sticks. And their hope to retake the lead. In the bottom half of this 5th inning, Matt Hegre, Cooper Bowman, and Jack Sorensen are slated to hit for the Hardhats. Here comes the lefty. And Kyle Ebert. Ebert's 0 for 2, a line out to third, and a strikeout. Man on first and second for him. Here's his first pitch. High and away, 1-0. Ball and no strikes to count. And Keel deals. Called strike. Fastball on the outside corner evens the count up at 1-1. Ebert has Mike Drucker on second. Kipgren holds on first. 2 outs, top of the 5th, tied up at 2. 1-1 pitch. High and away. 2-1. Keel about to throw his 80th pitch of the start. Looking to close it down and get out of here square at 2. 2-1. Missed outside. 3-1. Three balls and a strike the count. There is somewhere to put Ebert if the next pitch is ball 4. They would load the bases up for Lindbergh, the 3-hole hitter. Here's the 3-1, and that's low and away for ball 4. And Coach Clapperich comes out, and I believe that will be the end of Keel's start on 81 pitches. 81 pitches, surrendering only 2 runs on just 3 hits. And he did it all in 4 2/3. Folks, we'll take a step aside, and when we return, the DH, Jack Sorensen, will come in for his second appearance in the ball game, and will take over at first, it seems. We'll take a step aside and come right back with the information on your new pitcher here in just a few moments on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV. Hardhats have played some musical chairs on defense as part of their pitching substitution. Branson Keel comes out of the game after 4 2/3 at his start, 81 pitches. He struck out 4 and walked 3, hit a batter as well, and allowed an earned run, 2 total on 3 hits. He is responsible for all 3 runners on the base path at this moment. Zach Sumption's now going to come in and pitch for Keel. Before we get to Sumption's numbers, he'll come in to right. Jace Caldwell will move to right field. And Jack Sorensen, the designated hitter, will surrender his designated hitter title and come to first. Zach Sumption comes in for his 9th appearance of the season and his 2nd of the tournament. He pitched last night against Burnsville. So his 9th appearance of the season, 7th in relief. 2-1 his record, 2 for 2 on save opportunities and 21 1/3 innings of work. A 1.64 ERA and 12 strikeouts to 6 walks. The Hardhats need him for one colossal out right here. Bases loaded, 2 outs, and a tie ball game here in the top of the 5th. Aaron Lindbergh is 0 for 2. No pressure. First pitch, a called strike right down the pipe from Sumption, and he's off to a good start. It's 0-1. Sumption last night got the win for the Hardhats in extra innings. 0-1 is a breaking ball low. Lindbergh thought about it, but he held off, and it's 1-1. Ball and a strike to count. And his pitch. Swung on, ball's lined in the air to left center. That's going to drop for a base hit. 1 run comes in to score. Here comes the second. King's throw cut off by Sorensen, and a run will come in. A 2-run RBI single for Aaron Lindbergh, and now the Hardhats trail 4-2. With 2 outs and men on first and second here in the top of the 5th. Ebert to second. Grunholz and Drucker both come in to score. The Patriots have batted through the order in this inning, and now here comes the left-handed hitting DH, Ian Bergstrom. First pitch from Sumption, hit foul over the broadcast bungalow and out of play. It's 0-1. No balls and a strike to count. Sumption just trying to get out of the inning now. Next pitch swung on and missed. Bergstrom way ahead of the breaking ball. It's 0-2. If Sumption can get this out, then the Hardhats can get right back to work and try and come back. They now trail 4-2. 4 runs scored in the inning for the Patriots. 0-2. Swung on and check swung. And everybody advances as the ball skips away. It was not a called strike 3, though. It'll be 1-2 now with 2 men in scoring position as Ebert moves to third and Lindbergh to second. 2 more men in scoring position now for the Patriots. 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. Sumption needs a big 3rd out. Here's his 1-2. Swung on, ball's chopped foul, first base side. And the count will hold at a ball and 2 strikes. And the men will both retreat to second and third. Lindbergh on second and Ebert on third. 4-2 now the Patriots lead. Ball and 2 strikes to count. Sumption stretch. 1-2. Swung on and fouled to the fence in front of us, and the count will hold at 1-2. Sumption taking over for Branson Keel, who went 4 2/3 and allowed 4 runs, 3 of them earned on 3 hits, struck out 4, walked 3 on 81 pitches. Time called the second Sumption moved. I'd like to see a lot less of that moving forward in baseball, but I know it is a part of the game. Ball and 2 strikes to count. Bergstrom back into it against Sumption. 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball. Caught him looking. Strike 3. And that will end the top half of the 5th. The Patriots bat around and they get 4 crucial runs on 3 hits. An error charge to the Hardhats and 2 men stranded in scoring position. Patriots have their first lead of the ballgame. It's 4-2 as we go to the bottom of the 5th. With Hegre, Bowman, and Sorensen scheduled to hit for the Hardhats. We'll be right back with that and more here on ESPN Rapid City and Hardhats-TV. For the first time today, Post 22 finds itself down to the Rochester Patriots. 4-2 is the score as we head into the bottom of the 5th inning. Post 22 will send Hegre, Bowman, and Sorensen up against Matt Swickla, each for their third time in the game. All three gentlemen are combined 0 for 6 in this game so far. Mark Benetti alongside you here on ESPN Rapid City, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM, and as always, stream live on the internet on Hardhats-TV. Swickla looks into Hegre and his first pitch. Misses low, it's 1-0. Hegre flew out to left and popped out to second. Hegre popping out to second with the bases loaded in the bottom of the second. Here's the 1-0, and that rides upstairs. It'll be 2-0 now to Hegre. Swickla working on just under 60 pitches coming into this frame. His fifth inning of work. 2-0 pitch. Way outside. 3-0 now to Hegre. If Hegre can get on base, that means Cooper Bowman's the tying run. Here comes his 3-0 pitch. And that's a called strike at his knees. 3-1. Three balls and a strike to count to Hegre. Swickla trying to avoid the walk. And the 3-1's fouled into the mesh behind home plate. And the count goes full. Big payoff pitch coming up to Hegre to lead off the bottom of the fifth with the Hardhats down 2. 4-2 the score. 4 runs, 3 hits, and an error against the Hardhats for the Patriots here in the top of the fifth. Payoff pitch is outside, and that'll be ball 4. And Hegre leads off with a walk. Cooper Bowman now comes up 0 for 2. Last night, he came up with probably the most clutch of hits in the top of the 9th. First pitch he saw, left the ballpark and gave the Hardhats the win. Let's see if that magic can work again and tie the ball game up. First pitch is low and away. 1-0 to Bowman. Maybe it won't happen on the first pitch, but the Hardhats faithful hoping it happens all the same. Bowman didn't play in game 1, so this is his first action of the day. Check to first, and Hegre's back. Hegre on first with the leadoff walk here in the bottom of the fifth. Post 22 trailing 4-2. First time that they are behind in this ballgame. The 1-0 misses low and away to Bowman, and it's 2-0. Jack Sorensen, the DH turned first baseman, is on deck. Jace Caldwell, the first baseman turned left fielder, in the hole. If we get that far. 2-0. Swung on, ball's lined right to third. It's snuck down on the play. And the throw to second's off track. Hegre will stop at second. A nice snag by the third baseman in Novak, but the throw was off. And Bowman will reach on the error, and Hegre is safe. Men on first and second, no one out. A big break for the Hardhats. Here comes Jack Sorensen. Would not be surprised to see some small ball. Sorensen 0 for 2. Shows the bunt. First pitch is dropped right in front of the mound, and it's overrun by Swickla. Everybody's safe and the bases are loaded. Jack Sorensen with the bunt single. Every base occupied. And here comes Jace Caldwell, who can absolutely launch the ball. It's just a meeting of the minds on the mound. The entire infield is in for this conversation. Post 22 started off walk, E5, and then bunt from Sorensen. And his first pitch is a breaking ball outside, 1-0. There is nowhere to put Caldwell, so if he walks, the Hardhats are within striking distance. 4-2, the Patriots lead. Bases loaded, no one out, bottom of the fifth. And the 1-0's upstairs, 2-0 to Caldwell. 2 balls and no strikes. And the pitch. Swung on, fouled. The mesh behind home plate, it's 2-1. Zach Sumption on deck if Caldwell can't get the job done. More than capable he is, though, batting over 400 with runners in scoring position. 2-1 pitch. Swung on, ball's fouled again. And the count evens up at 2-2 for Caldwell. No one out, every base occupied. Hegre on third, Bowman second, Sorensen first. 2-2. Breaking ball swung on, lined into left, and that's just foul by an inch. And the Hardhats surely would have tied this ball game up on that hit. And the count will hold even at 2-2. That just missed the paint by maybe an inch. 2 balls, 2 strikes again. Swickla deals to Caldwell. Pitch is swung on. Ball's hit by the third baseman and into left for a base hit. 1 run's going to score. Here comes Bowman into home. He's going to score. We're tied at 4. A 2-run RBI single for Jace Caldwell. Sorensen to second. Bowman and Hegre come in to score. And with no outs, it's men on first and second, and we're square at 4 aside. Here comes Zach Sumption with a chance to potentially put the Hardhats back on top. And time is called. And the catcher Lingen will give out a sign to his infield defense. Caldwell on first with the 2-run RBI single. Sorensen on second, reaching on the bunt. Sumption showing bunt, and he lays it down right in front of the mound. Swickla fields it, and his throw to first is in time. A nice 1-3 sacrifice bunt for Zach Sumption. That moves Caldwell to second, Sorensen to third, and it'll bring up Alex Weaver. Weaver 1 for 2. In the tournament, he's batting .400 with runners in scoring position. Weaver's also knocked in 3 runs while he's been here in Minnesota. First pitch, a breaking ball, called strike right at his knees. 0-1. Weaver has a chance to add to that total by 2 with 2 men in scoring position. Sorensen 90 feet to his left on third. Caldwell across from him on second. 0-1 pitch. Swung on, ball's hit high in the air to left field. Backtracking towards the warning track, and underneath it is Ebert. He makes the catch. Tagging up from third and heading home is Sorensen, and the Hardhats are back on top. An RBI sac fly from Alex Weaver, and it's 5-4. Sorensen comes in to score. Caldwell remains on second. That'll bring up Ryan Schmidt with 2 outs, and Caldwell across from him on the diamond. 5-4 now, the Hardhats lead. And the first pitch. Breaking ball low, and it's blocked by Lingen. 1-0. Schmidt 0 for 1. A ribby ground out and a walk under his belt in this game. Mason Messenger is on deck if we get that far. 2 outs, bottom of the 5th, 5-4, post 22. 1-0 to Schmidt. Breaking ball, swung on and missed. And the count will even up at 1-1. Crucial run scored for the Hardhats, who trailed 4-2 coming into the bottom half of the 5th. If they hang on for this win, they'll advance to the knockout stage tomorrow morning. 1-1. Breaking ball, hit high in the air. Coming in from third is Novak, and he makes the catch, and that will put an end to the inning. The Hardhats get the job done, though. 3 runs scored on 2 hits, an error charged, and a man stranded in scoring position for post 22. And after 5 innings of play, the Hardhats are back on top. It's 5-4 heading into the 6th. We'll take a step aside and come right back with the top of the 6th inning. And Brady Black, the lefty, to lead off against Zach Sumption here on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV. Post 22 Hardhats baseball here on ESPN Rapid City is presented by Courtesy Subaru, by Shields, Qdoba Mexican Eats, Renewal by Anderson, Sicky's Garage Burgers and Brews, the Mustang Disaster Cleanup, and the Man Salon. Well, the Hardhats certainly cleaned up a disaster in that 5th inning, no doubt about it. 3 runs on 2 hits with an error charge to the Patriots, and post 22 now is back on top 5-4 is the score. For the Hardhats, it's 5 runs on 6 hits with an error in the field. And for the Rochester Patriots, it's 4 runs on 4 hits with 2 errors on defense. Thanks again for joining us this afternoon for the final game of pool play for the Hardhats in the Gopher Classic. Mark Benetti alongside you on ESPN Rapid City, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM, and as always, stream live on the internet on Hardhats-TV. 5, 6, and 7 in the order for the Patriots, starting off with Brady Black, the left-handed hitting first baseman. He reached on an error to lead off the 5th inning in which Rochester plated 4. Swings and misses at his first pitch, and he starts off 0-1. So Black 0 for 2, but he scored a crucial run as part of Tor Hendrickson's 2-run blast shortly after. And the 0-1's a called strike on a breaking ball. From Sumption, it's 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes. Sumption looking for his second K, and the 0-2 pitch. Swung on, balls hit sky high in the air to short. Bowman's going to give way to Weaver coming from left field, and he makes the catch. 1 away as Weaver comes up with the F7. That'll bring up Tor Hendrickson, who hit a 2-run bomb over the left field wall back in the top of the 5th. He got the Patriots on the board, and at the time, tied the game up at 2. Sumption's first pitch, called strike on the breaking ball, well placed. Right at the knees, it's 0-1. And here's the 0-1, breaking ball, called strike again, and it's 0-2. That just hit the low outside corner right at the knees of Hendrickson. And Sumption comes, 0-2 pitch, and that's upstairs and skips away from Schmidt's paraphernalia, and it's 1-2. Ball and 2 strikes. Sumption's looking for his second strikeout. In relief. 1-2 pitch. Caught him looking. Strike 3. 2 up, 2 down for the Patriots on offense. Now brings this to Sam Lingen, the catcher. Post 22 as a staff in this ball game. Now has 6 strikeouts, and only 1 of them is swinging. First pitch to Lingen. Breaking ball, called strike. Zach Sumption's breaking ball is on fire right now, and that's all he's gone with the last couple of pitches. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. 0-1 pitch. Fastball misses low, and the count evens up at 1-1. Lingen 1 for 2 with a single, and then he was caught in a rundown. The 3rd error base running for the Patriots. 1-1 pitch, called strike. Fastball at the knees, and it's 1-2. And Sumption's looking for 3 strikeouts in his last 4 batters face, I should say. And the next pitch is swung on and missed on a drop 3rd strike. Schmidt tries to field the ball, and his throw to first is in time, and that'll end it. Sumption gets some help from Ryan Schmidt and Jack Sorensen, and that ends the top of the 6th, 1-2-3 fashion. No runs, hits, errors, or anybody left on base for Rochester. We've played 5.5 innings, and the Hardhats have preserved their narrow 5-4 lead. We'll take a step aside and come right back with the bottom of the 6th and Mason Messenger to lead off for Post 22 when we return here on ESPN Rapid City and Hardhats-TV. Sometimes baseball can be a fun game of musical chairs. Matt Swickla's start has come to an end, and Tor Hendrickson will come in from right to pitch. Hendrickson, the righty, will take on 9-1-2 in the order. Swickla went 5 innings, and he allowed 5 runs on 6 hits. And 4 of his 5 runs were earned. Swickla didn't strike out anyone. He threw 88 pitches. Four walks credited for Swickla as well. And now Hendrickson takes over. we'll get one final word on the swaps. So the only change now is Lucas Rindfleisch takes over in right field. And here comes Mason Messenger with a bunt down the third baseline, and the throw to first, not in time. A bunt single for Mason Messenger right off the hop. And that'll bring us back to the top of the order to Connor King. So Lucas Rindfleisch takes over in right, and that is the only defensive substitution we have for Rochester. Back to the top of the order. Connor King is 0 for 2 with a walk. Post 22, a 5-4 lead here in the bottom of the 6th. And the first pitch misses low and away, 1-0. Ball and no strikes to count here to King. Messenger leads off of first, reaching on the bunt single. 1-0. King, he drops the bunt down the third base line. That's fair. Throw to first is in the dirt, but it's not in time. Back-to-back bunt singles for the Hardhats. Connor King just beat the throw. First and second, Matt Hegre up. Let's see if he goes with the bunt. It's worked for the Hardhats 2 in a row. Hardhats up 5-4 here in the bottom of the 6th. Potentially their last offensive outs. First pitch. He shows bunt. He drops it down the third base line, but that one will trickle foul. And Hegre starts behind 0-1. How crazy would that have been? 3 bunt singles in a row. I think you have better odds betting on a number in roulette than seeing 3 bunt singles consecutively. You might have to put that math to the test. No balls and a strike to count to Hegre. Men on first and second. The corners of the infield are in, just in case Hegre tries to drop again. 5-4 the Hardhats lead. Potentially their last chance to add to it. Next pitch, swung away, but it's fouled down the third base line. 0-2. So unless Hegre's feeling insanely lucky, I think the bunt strategy is out of the equation here. 2 strikes. So if he tried and he fouled, then he's out. I doubt he's not going to do anything but swing here. King on first, Messenger on second. 0-2 pitch from Hendrickson. Swung on, ball's hit right back up the middle. And the stop's made on, no, it's not made on the play at second. It goes right through Drucker. And rounding third and heading home is Messenger, and he's safe. The Hardhats are up 2, it's 6-4. Smart base running from Messenger has put the Hardhats up by 2. And they're going to rule that an E4 on Drucker. Still no one out, men on first and second. Post 22 now up 6-4. Cooper Bowman comes up with a chance to keep the train rolling for the Hardhats. Tor Hendrickson in relief has surrendered a run to post 22 on a pair of bunts and an error. Cooper Bowman, 0 for 3, reached on an error and scored a colossal run the last time he was up. He shows bunt, but it's fouled. 0-1. This is the 4th batter in a row that has attempted a bunt on his first pitch. The first 2 dropped him down for hits. Hegre was unsuccessful and then reached on the error. No outs, men on first and second for Bowman, and the Hardhats have already added 1 more. It's now 6-4. 0-1 pitch. Swung on, ball's hit high in the air to left field. It's got the legs, it has the distance, and it has left the ballpark. A 3-run blast for Cooper Bowman, his 2nd home run of this tournament, and post 22 now has a 9-4 lead. And with no outs, the Hardhats have added on more than they needed. They came in with a 5-4 lead and now currently own a 9-4 advantage. And now there is a conference on the mound. Whether this means a pitching change or not, yet to be seen. Cooper Bowman, unbelievable in this tournament, came into the game batting .750 in Minnesota, and that is his third home run of these festivities. He has really been something else. Jack Sorensen now comes up. Empty base path, no one out. Post 22's plated 4 on 3 hits and an error. First pitch. Breaking ball swung on, lined in the air to center field, and making the catch falling forward is Lindbergh in center field, and that'll be out number 1. A nice defensive play to register the first out. That'll bring up Jace Caldwell, the right fielder. Seems that he and Alex Weaver played their own game of musical chairs, switching back and forth. Caldwell was in left, now he's in right. Caldwell batting 1,000 on the ball game. 3 for 3 in his first pitch. Breaking ball swung on, it's hit high in the air to center. Once again, Lindbergh underneath it, and he makes a routine catch for out number 2. Zach Sumption, the right fielder turned pitcher, now up. Post 22 has a 9-4 lead. Cooper Bowman's 3-run home run in this inning, the exclamation point offensively for the Hardhats. First pitch to Sumption. Breaking ball low, and it skips away. 1-0. Sumption's 1 for 2 with a single and a sacrifice bunt dropped. Ball and no strikes to the count. And the pitch. Swung on, ball's hit high in the air. Foul territory, first base side. Coming in from first is Black, and instead it's the catcher, Lingen, behind home plate, that dives forward, and he can't come up with it. Sumption gets a second life and a 1-1 count. That was a good play, foul territory. 3 gentlemen converging between Hendrickson on the mound, Black at first, and then Lingen behind home. And Lingen, he had the better look out of anybody, but just couldn't come up with it. Ball and a strike to count here to Sumption. And the pitch. Nearly hits him. It's too far inside. 2-1. 2 balls and a strike to count now to Sumption. 2 outs and an empty base path here in the bottom of the 6th. And the 2-1 swung on and missed inside, 2-2. Hardhats have a 9-4 lead. Patriots will bring Novak, Drucker, and Grunholtz back at the top of the order. Up in the top of the 7th. 2-2 pitch. Way behind him, and its count goes full. Payoff pitch could potentially end the inning here, and it comes. Swung on, ball's hit high in the air. Shallow right. And making the catch on the play is Ryan Flesh, who came in, and that'll end it. Post 22 in the inning, gets 4 runs on 3 hits. An error charge to the Patriots, nobody left on base. Post 22, 3 outs away from advancing to the knockout tomorrow morning. We'll take a step aside and come right back with the top half of the 7th. Post 22, up 9-4. We'll be right back here on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV. Post 22 is 3 outs away from advancing for the second time in the last 4 years to the knockout stage of the Gopher Classic. If they can hang on and keep this win and this lead, they'll play tomorrow morning at 11:30 local time against the Anoka site winner. If Rochester finds a way to come back and end up winning this ball game here in the 7th, the Hardhats have to wait for the result of their game against Burnsville following the conclusion of this one. Mark Benetti alongside you here on ESPN Rapid City, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM, and as always, stream live on the internet on Hardhats-TV. Lucas Reinflesch will come in for Aaron Novak and bat. Reinflesch was a defensive substitute in right field, and he looks at a first pitch called strike. Breaking ball at his knees, it's 0-1. Novak finished 0 for 1 with a strikeout and a walk. And the 0-1 swung on and missed on another breaking ball, and he's quickly behind 0-2. Reinflesch, Drucker, and Grenholtz, barring any other substitutions for the Patriots. 0-2 pitch. Swung on. Ball's hit high in the air. First base side. Sorensen comes in front of the dugout, and he makes the catch for out number 1. Post 22. 2 outs away from advancing to the knockout stage of the Gopher Classic. That'll bring up Mike Drucker, the second baseman, who's 0 for 1 with a strikeout looking and a hit by pitch. He also came in to score a colossal run for the Patriots that helped them take an early lead in this game. First pitch, swung on, ball's flared high in the air to right. Here comes Caldwell in, and he makes the catch on 1 pitch, and the Hardhats are 1 out away. 2 up, 2 down, and the game rests on the bat of Kip Grunholtz, the shortstop. If he keeps the inning going, then Kyle Ebert, the left fielder, is on deck. If he's retired, Post 22 can punch their ticket to tomorrow morning's knockout stage. First pitch. Breaking ball, called strike inside. It's 0-1. Grenholtz is 0 for 1 with a ground out to the mound. He's been twice walked and came around to score. 0-1 pitch. Swung on, ball's hit to short. Bowman gets the stop between his legs. Throw to first is in time, and that's going to end it. Post 22 finishes 5-0 in the pool play stage. They're advancing to the knockout tomorrow morning at 11:30. A job well done by Post 22, who in this game faced adversity and somehow found a way to come back. So Post 22 will finish undefeated at 5-0. They win the Burnsville pool. Rochester will fall to 500 at 2-2. Chanhassen has finished. They're at 3-2. Stillwater's at 500 at 2-2. Burnsville at 1-2. They'll play the final 2 matchups right now against Rochester and then at the end against Stillwater. And the Regina A's finished winless at 0-5. Now the Hardhats just have to wait to see who their opponent's going to be. Right now, there are 4 potential teams that could come out of that Anoka pool. Sioux Falls East, a 3-2 record. Alexandria, a 3-2 record. Chippewa Falls sits currently at 3-1. And Anoka, the host, is at 2-1. So there's still a number of possibilities for Post 22's upcoming opponent. What we do know is that 11:30 local time tomorrow, Post 22 will play in the knockout stage of the Gopher Classic. If they win, they will play immediately right after that at 2 o'clock local time. And if they keep going, then they'll play the next day at 9 a.m. And then if they win that, they'll play for the title at 2 on Tuesday. So Post 22 is now into the knockout stage and will await their next opponent. Folks, thanks so much for joining us for the Sunday doubleheader action. Post 22 has swept both of their games. 10-2 in 6 innings against the Regina Athletics, and just now 9-4 against the Rochester Patriots to close out undefeated in pool play. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow at 10:30 Mountain Time for the knockout stage of the Gopher Classic.